In today's video, we are seeing if we can put a new twist on a summertime snack. Watermelon slices made entirely out of Jell-O. Hey guys, there's still time to grab this limited edition TKOR tee before it's too late, so go ahead and click the link in the description to get yours now, and let's jump into the video. Guys, I've been left alone today, so of course that means I'm going to be making something absolutely ridiculous in the kitchen because I can. And believe it or not, this one was actually Nate's idea. We're going to see if we can take a watermelon and make it entirely out of Jell-O, but we want to make it look as realistic as possible. Yes, I could just carve out a watermelon, fill it with some gelatin, put it in the fridge, and call it good. But let's see if we can make a watermelon out of Jell-O with seeds included that's going to hold up to us cutting and slicing it. Here's the basic idea. We have a couple of watermelons, we have a lot of watermelon Jell-O, and we have an interesting way of trying to make some watermelon seeds. Let's see if we can put all of these things together to make a watermelon slice made out of Jell-O that looks real. All right, so to begin with, the supplies that we got. I found watermelon Jell-O. It is Jolly Rancher watermelon, so obviously it is going to be the very, very best. It was the only watermelon Jell-O that I could find, so I'm thrilled. Regular gelatin, you have seen us use this a lot on the channel. I don't really trust the Jell-O itself to be strong enough, even if I am making this as like the little jigglers that you get that you can like cut little shapes out of. I really, really, really want this to hold its shape. For the seeds, we had to get a little bit more creative. I was looking for like chocolate coated seeds or the candy seeds. You may have seen these in the drinks at Taco Bell. Couldn't find any. So here's what we're gonna try. Sunflower seeds. They're about the right size, they're absolutely the right shape. We're gonna try and dye some sunflower seeds so that they're black and they look like watermelon seeds and place them in layers in our Jell-O to see if we can get it to look a little bit more real. First step is we're gonna have to cut open one of our watermelons, hollow it out, and then start the Jell-O. I have no idea if this is going to work, so I bought two, so we have a backup. Let's get started. So fun fact, the third time in my life I ever got stitches was because I cut a watermelon, and you can still see that little slice right here. When we cut open the other one, I'll show you, but there's this Pinterest life hack where you take a watermelon, you put it upside down, and it works amazingly well. You cut off the top, you cut off the sides, and then you can just dice it. What you don't want to do is put your hand on it and then chop into it, because then you end up with 7 stitches and a really great story, but you know, ER visits are expensive, so don't do that. Let's see how we're gonna do this. I was hoping there would be a little bit more rind, but it looks like a tasty watermelon. It's a little bit lighter in color than I thought it was gonna be, but I think that's gonna match our Jolly Rancher watermelon gelatin a little bit better. I think I figured this out. An ice cream scoop. It's not quite a melon baller, but I think it'll work. Oh yeah, that'll be easy. All right, so now we're gonna go and take just a regular spoon and see if we can just sort of clean these out. Right now they've got some really rough edges from how sharp that ice cream scoop was. Let's see if we can clean that up because I really want these to look as good as possible. All right, so we've got our watermelons pretty cleaned out. Should be good to go here, so now let's go ahead and get our gelatin started. I'm gonna read the instructions and then forget them and not follow them immediately. I'm gonna go ahead and use the 1 cup. We're gonna eyeball it, see if this works. 1. And some of this is gonna boil off, and we will also be adding some flavor, so, I mean, obviously we've got the full pack. 2. So I'm gonna do 4 to be safe for each one. I think I've got enough. It is a good thing that I read the instructions because it would have been 3/4 cups boiling water and then a 3/4 cup cold water. So half of that. So we only need like 5 of these packages. I'm doing well. We're gonna go ahead and just do 5. I think that's gonna be enough. Maybe 6 to be safe, but we are just gonna start with 2, see how that goes. It's gonna be like exactly the same color, perfect. Whoop, that's good to go. All right, before the cold water gets added, 1 package of unflavored gelatin. It's gonna take a little bit more for that to sort of melt in. Now, usually, if you need to dissolve just plain gelatin, you put it in cold water and you let it bloom. But because we're mixing this in, it should dissolve just fine. Go ahead and stir this until all of the regular gelatin is melted, and then we'll add that cold water. All right, lesson has been learned. I thought these little pieces were going to dissolve much faster than they were, so I'm going to kind of siphon those off, and then for the next few batches, I'll go ahead and make sure that I bloom my gelatin the way you're supposed to. Let's go ahead and start that first layer of watermelon and probably make a massive mess in the process. This will be great. Oh yeah, I made way too much. Okay, now we're gonna put those in the freezer. Normally you just put them in the fridge. I need these to set as fast as they possibly can. Should be about 20 minutes, and then after that, we'll go ahead and add the seeds. So while these are chilling, we're gonna start on the seeds. Like I was saying, these seeds are white. However, in a large watermelon, they're black. So we're gonna have a few of each. See how that goes. All right, straight food coloring it is. I was worried about the concentration, but now I am not. I think that's gonna look right. Now to let these dry. First off, let's just pat them down and see if they can even hold that color. I hope they do. Try a few. Well, they're certainly sticking to my hands. I think so. Okay. Let's go set these outside to dry in the sun. There. Pretend watermelon seeds. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. Our watermelon jello has set in the freezer, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. I think the seeds are ready to go too, so let's see how everything's doing. Okay, they actually do look like watermelon seeds. So we are gonna go ahead and go with these ones. The color is mostly staying on them, pretty dry. So I'm just gonna start by placing a few and hoping that they don't, let's see. We're just gonna hope that the color doesn't come off too much when we put the next layer in. All right, moment of truth. Next layer. And pour very carefully to try not to mess those up. Oh, perfect. Ish. Okay, perfect-ish. Here's what we're gonna do instead. For these ones, I'm just gonna press them down into the cold gelatin and hopefully help them stick just a little. I think what I'm gonna have to do, now that I'm seeing this, is probably wait for things to settle, not perfectly set, just sort of let it get kind of gummy and then set it in. All right, so it's been a couple of days and our watermelon jello has set. There were a few little hiccups we had here. Now, because I was getting impatient, I was putting these in the freezer to have them set a little bit faster in between layers, and then I put them in the fridge to chill overnight. The jello isn't perfectly formed to the watermelon, so we're gonna slice these even, see if we can put our watermelon back together and then cut it up. It's gonna fall off, it's gonna fall off. Okay, so it's not wanting to stick to the rind, but that still looks really, really cool. Let's get a few more slices. Yeah. Perfect. Sometimes I wonder why I do the things I do, and then I realize I don't care, this was fun. Okay guys, you can in fact make an entire watermelon out of jello with seeds and cut it for just the most ridiculous summertime snack, but it's actually really, really good and really, really fun, and yeah, that was awesome. I want to see what these look like in the sunlight. Well, even that is just cool because you can see through it. It's kind of awesome. One little seed that got chopped doesn't look quite right, but everything else I'm pretty impressed with. Very silly, very fun summertime treat. So I'm just gonna let Nate finish filming for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna go play on the swing set and eat watermelon. I feel like I'm just living every kid's dream, but it's my job. It was a good summer. Guys, that was a ton of fun, but you know we've always got more for you to see. Go ahead and click that box up at the top to see our latest video, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then.